Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Daily Live Extra. Could be an interesting week, this, for Everton. Obviously, the team are back training, pre-season training on Friday, but on Thursday, it's the last day of the month, and it is the last day for FFP in this calendar year. And Everton, if you listen to certain people, have to sell, have to make some money in that time. So it could be a very interesting week. And on the back of that, it has been reported in the last hour, Alan Myers has spoken about it, but I seen this brought up yesterday via a Spurs podcast, is that Spurs are actually looking at Anthony Gordon as well as Richarlison. Baz, the Wolves are at the door. It seems they are queuing up, they smell blood, and they think they can come in and...
They've got 130 million to spend, then, sound.
Well, yeah.
Daniel Levy. Listen, Tottenham, and people can put out what they want, but Everton, whether the Wolves are at the door or not, there's you've got to be sensible with all of this. Of course, there'll be bids. Well, you just say, okay, you want Gordon and Richarlison, we want Harry Kane. You be sensible with it, because Levy's a knobhead. He's proven it time and time again, and Everton just have to be strong. If Richarlison really wants to go, sell him, tell them, get that deal done. Don't be letting on. I'm not saying Everton are, by the way, but don't get bullied into transfers you don't want to make, and don't be taking players you don't really want.
But could they get bullied into it?
I don't think they could get bullied into Gordon. No, not at all. Richarlison would satisfy the Premier League selling Richarlison. There was something over the weekend. The one that they probably really wanted to sell the most would have been Dom, because he represents the greater return on FFP. Although then I seen another article later on going, that actually doesn't mean anything. It's the highest transfer fee. So, and I'm not, fully versed in how the intricacies of it are, but I'd be amazed, absolutely amazed, if Everton let Richarlison and Anthony Gordon go. I would be, without getting some proper players from Spurs, and I'm proper players, I'm talking like Son or something.
No players? Don't get any players.
No, you don't need anyone from Tottenham.
Don't get any players, get cash. And then
go
and get whoever you want then.
Go and get people bounce into
nonsense.
Leeds quickly before they sign Camera. But, yeah. No, listen, we know that Richarlison, they like Richarlison, and yet still no bid has come in.
But again, though, do you think that's because, and we've mentioned this a few times, do you think that's because, we previously spoke about it as in the whole of the summer. It might actually be a good thing that this sort of deadline is this week for FFP, because then that gives us a target a lot earlier on to work with, and it is the beginning of pre-season training, so it works a lot better for us, I think, that way. But you think even that, though, the Spurs or whoever else are probably thinking, well, no, we'll wait. We'll just wait. We'll see how this wants to work. Everton won 60 million plus apparently for Richarlison, but maybe by Wednesday night they won't be so bold, and they won't be sticking their chest out as much, knowing that they probably do need to sell someone within that next the 24 hours or whatever of time.
Maybe, but only time will tell. Everton might say they want 65 today and might accept 55 on Wednesday night or Thursday, because they're going, well, we can get 2 or 3 targets with this if we sell him. He's going to go any, you know what I mean? It's one of them. Do we hold out for the extra 10 million or 5 million for the whole of the summer? But
can they afford to do that, though?
That's what I'm saying. Well, I've spoke to a couple of people not even just Andy, a couple of other people who work at other clubs in recruitment over the weekend, just chatting in general. They must all just get together and have the same think tank, because they were like, that's the same kind of thing what Andy was saying. For 5 million quid, don't lose your targets. It's 5 million. Yeah. You finish 3 places up, you've done that. So sometimes if the player really is desperate to get out the door, sell him if you can get a deal done. Don't go, we're not selling for less than 60. if you've got an offer for 55, take it and get your players in. I don't know whether I can understand where they're coming from, but I don't know. But we need to move on with what we're doing, don't we? And we can't at the moment.
No,
we can't.
No. And as I said, that's where I think that deadline is helpful in a way, because it does mean that, you know, hopefully it's not being dragged out. And you are right. I'd rather take 5 million less now and go and get who we need, and also, you know, make sure that the Premier League are happy with what's he made you?
That's not coffee. That's, you know, when it runs through the water, it's not a coffee.
Oh yeah,
it's just pure water.
Who made you that?
It's not, mate. I have Americano.
Are you sure you changed the thing in it? Yeah, I don't think you did. I think you pocketed the pod and took it home.
Oh, that's horrible.
Ned, Ned, why are you trying to kill Baz on here? No. Why do you hate the channel so much, Ned? It's a good job, Paige got a 2-1, isn't it? And, you know, now could, you know...
That's super, yeah, but they're the supersedes, Ned.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good job she got a 2-1. Now we know the hands, you know, the company's in safe hands.
Yeah. Nah. People are going to push us, aren't they? Because that's where we're up to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Against the wall, aren't we?
The smelling that, you know... yeah. I just, yeah. I seen an article, there was an article there, I think it was in The Athletic over the weekend, saying, you know, how the Premier League is so buoyant again, and how the TV deals are all better than ever, and how everyone's got a little bit of money in and everyone's pushing for all these new signings. And I was just like, yeah, except us. Again, we are again in the same situation we've been in so many times. Run like a corner shop. And I'll be honest, I really hope a buyer comes in and takes this club away from the people who run it and own it. I really do. Because this just can't go on. Can't go on. This is a joke. We're a Premier League football club. And we're basically in a week where we know we've got to sell our best player, and then other people are coming for our young best player because they think, you know what, there might just be a chance. Yeah. And I think I just want these people out now. I really do. I couldn't care less about who they are and what they've given us. This club is run like a corner shop, and I think last summer proved it, and I think how this summer's proving it. And yeah, don't get me wrong, if we get the money in, Frank Lampard might go out there and get the targets. I'm not concerned about who he wants or whatever, or who we're linked with. That's a different subject, whatever. The point being, the fact that our owner can't give our manager money in the Premier League as it is, to me, is just a disgrace. It's just a disgrace.
So we are where we are. We can go back over it and nothing will really change it, because nothing has changed. You know, we're up against it. This financial year finishes on Thursday night. Whether the next financial year there's a bit more room in, I don't know. If Everton promised the Premier League they'll do this sale by Thursday night to keep that away from, you know, any sanctions or whatever away. And I'm not talking about points, but things like agreeing that you can't spend any money next season and it'll only be loans or whatever. I don't know if they could do that as well. So it's going to be a nervous few days, and teams will have a look and go, we quite like him as well. We quite like him. But Anthony Gordon wouldn't be leaving Everton for Tottenham anyway. Not at this stage. Because why would you? Why would you both go to Spurs when they've already got Harry Kane and they've already got Son and they've got Kulusevski? You know, you're not getting in there. And Richarlison doesn't even get in there, so Anthony Gordon's got no chance.
I'd like to believe that was true. I just can't believe that's true.
Well, that's fine.
I think any footballer now, doesn't matter how old they are, if they think there's an opportunity, and with their agents and everything, I think footballers now would go. I don't even think they'd look at that side of things. A lot of them, I don't think
Gordon would go.
Don't get me wrong.
I think he's looking himself.
I don't think he will go. I don't think he will go. But sadly now, I don't think there's many players out there who look at football like that. You know, we've seen an amazing situation. Manchester City, you know, they've gone in for the kid at Leeds, Phillips, who's who's a Leeds fan through and through, and City come knocking. I know City is City and Spurs are Spurs.
And he's 26.
And there's a difference. No, I know, but unfortunately, to me, the way we've spoke about a lot of times, the way footballers are taking hold of their careers, is that I think if someone says to them, this could be a great opportunity for you, you know, an agent and stuff, then unfortunately a lot of them just go, yeah, this could be, and they don't think, because we've seen how many footballers have we seen leave, not just our football club or other football clubs, when you go, why are you doing that? You've got no chance of getting in there, and then they do end up sitting on a bench for 4 years. Don't get me wrong, there's no common sense tells us that Anthony Gordon would be much better playing for Everton for the next 2 or 3 years,
and then
being an absolute first teamer, getting that experience, and then maybe in a couple of years, 3 years time, an opportunity. But we just know football doesn't work like that, sadly.
And people are looking go, I mean, you know, Dean Evans says here, as much as I'd hate to lose both players, we could do a lot with 100 million plus. And Terry Mack says, I know it won't be popular with a lot of our fan base, but we're too precious about selling players. We went into the summer thinking we'd sell Richarlison and Dom. If we were to get a good offer for Richarlison and then Gordon, that could help.
The thing about that is,
he finished with saying, let's be honest, if we'd have been asked 10 weeks ago, nobody would have said anyone in this squad is above selling.
No, do you know, Terry, I agree with you, mate. The problem is, I don't trust the people at the football club with the money. It's as simple as that. I just don't trust them with it. So, and also with a takeover and everything, it's, I find, I mean, actually, the fact that there's a takeover might probably stop any kind of sale, because you are literally selling an asset, rather than, you know, you can bring cash into the club.
That's if there is going to be a takeover, but there might there.
Well, hopefully there is, because I honestly just can't be dealing with these people who run the football club. I just can't. And I don't
think it's going to change, mate, at the moment.
No, of course. Well, I think it will.
Because even a takeover won't.
No, it won't change the FFP and stuff like that. But the people we've got running our club are absolute amateurs. More and more people need to wake up to that. That they are amateur. The fella who owns it and the people who run it, they're amateur. It's as simple. We would not be in this situation if they weren't amateur. And as I said, you know, whoever, if there is a takeover, I hope it happens, and I hope it happens fast.
Can you see it happening fast though? I just can't see it happening.
No, I know, but what I mean is though, is that might actually stop someone being sold. Obviously not Richarlison, because that probably, well, that does need to be done to satisfy FFP, but you're taking out money from the football club, which might be the kind of that might be the whole valuation of the club could be going down, couldn't it? So,
I mean, let's stress at the moment, it is just a rumour, you know. Spurs might be chancing their arm and going, well, we like that Gordon, looks good as well, he's young and he's hungry and he does this and he does that, but you know, it is early days, very early days. I personally, I couldn't see Anthony Gordon leaving Everton this summer, not at all. But he's a footballer, and footballers do things you don't expect them to do. And I guess they've got to look long term as well. You know, Conte ain't going to be at Spurs next season. In my opinion, he'll leave next summer. What will Spurs do then? But they're going to have some good players. Like, they've got a good goal this year. You know, Basuma's a good signing. You've got Kane and Son, who are fantastic up the top end of the pitch. So they have got a good side, but I just don't see. Maybe Richie going there yet, but I don't see Anthony Gordon going there yet. And until a bid comes in, it's all speculation anyway, remember?
Oh, yeah,
you know, this Richarlison bid from Tottenham's been going on for 3 weeks, and yet nothing's happened. So...
yeah, but that again, though, that's because why would you rush it when you know Everton are in the situation they are? If Spurs didn't need to sell him, didn't need to buy him 3 weeks ago, did they? Because why would you?
You don't need to buy him now.
No, but and the longer it goes on, his price tag will go down.
No, but I'm just saying.
So that's what I'm saying. They don't need to buy him
until
right
it comes
now.
until a bid comes in. It's all speculation. We'll see. You know, and that bid might go in, and then that might bring Chelsea in. Who knows? You know, Tottenham may be thinking, let's get it done quickly. Try to get it done quickly, but we'll see. I just don't see Gordon going. But then if he did, then we have to just get on with it, don't we? There's players out there. We can't do anything at the moment, it seems. So we're basically in limbo, aren't we?
Yeah, that's
we're just waiting. We can't rebuild anything. Other teams are bringing players, not loads, but other teams are bringing players in. People are talking to decent players. You know, if we let Camera go to Leeds, it's another one. You know, but if you can't do anything, there's nothing you can do about it.
That comes down to where we are because of these people who run this football club.
No, I know, but if you're Kevin Thelwell, say you've gone into this situation, there's no money. And you've got to try and sell players. We can blame him all day and go, these people that run it. If his hands are tied,
I'm not talking about Kevin Thelwell. I'm not talking about Kevin Thelwell.
But where we are is
I'm talking about the people on the board and the fella who owns it. I'm not hiding from that fact.
Where we are, no. Listen, if he'd have put a proper structure in place 6 years ago, Everton would be in the Champions League now with the money. If you'd have put a proper structure in, used the money and they'd done it properly, they'd be in the Champions League places or fighting for them. They wouldn't be just coming off a season where they've just struggled to stay up. And we're going into pre-season training on Friday and we're still not in a position to announce Tarkowski yet because we've pissed other people off. So, you know, we do need to start getting our house in order, and it may well take selling players to do it. Never ever a good position to be in. You want to kind of sell in a position of strength where you've already building something. Your players that good that others want them, and you go, well, that's all right. You know, we'll sell him because we'll get a better one. Or this fella will come in and he's better, or this one's got loads of potential. That's what Leicester did. Leicester were able to recycle players because they just went, well, we'll go and get him instead and we'll get him. Brentford have been doing it for years.
The sad thing is,
there's no trust at Everton.
The sad thing is, though, we can't even buy players first.
No. You can't soften the blow.
Knowing that we're going to sit, because look at what you mentioned Leeds before. That's all Leeds have done. They've brought in three already, and it's probably all off the back of knowing they were going to sell Phillips. You know, it's what Villa did last year. It always takes away the sting. Whereas
Liverpool just done it with Darwin Núñez.
You know,
no Mane was gone.
You know, that's again the problem. It's like we can't even do that. So Richarlison will be sold, and then it'll be like, oh, we've got our targets now, and it's like, well, yeah, but what if they've gone, or what if someone else? You know, I'll be honest that we're still in June, and I'm fucking sick of Everton already. I just can't. I just sit there looking at the way it's going.
But you knew though that.
No, I knew that, but it's.
It isn't anything we didn't know. It doesn't make it less frustrating.
It's not. You know, I'm not even. You know, I understand the players were linked to it. They're not great and stuff like that. I get all that. I just can't. It just does annoys me. It more than annoys me because
it should annoy you.
The club have just. There's money everywhere, and we haven't got, you know, anything to spend because of these people, and it just makes me massively angry, massively frustrated. And as I said, I just want them out the club, and it makes me massively sad that they just get to keep their jobs until actually Everton are bought out. The fella who runs the club hasn't even got the bottle to sack the board. Yeah, he can't even see in front of his own eyes how pathetic this club is run.
Well, because he's probably got 25 other things on the go, hasn't he? Know what I mean?
Has he? I don't know.
He might.
He owns a football club. Yeah, whether it's a priority or not, he should get it in order.
Yeah, but this is what we've seen this with Thingy. We've seen this with Arsenal, didn't we? Their fans going about Kroenke because he's never put any money in. They hated him. He's not interested. We've seen the same thing. Ours is on a yacht in, you know, Monaco.
No, but I get that because that football club at least was financially there was more that it was doing fine, and he was.
Well, it should have been. It was in the Champions League for 24 years on the run or something. 23
this
years
football club, he's put us in this position, and yet still, and as puts all nice messages out to people, which some people, it's amazing. He knows what's going. Yeah, no, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything. He's kept the hierarchy at the club, and until that changes.
But even if playing Ned Devil's advocate. Even if he'd have changed the whole board 2 weeks ago, nothing would. We'd still be in this position. We'd still be in this mess right now. Nothing can change.
We would.
Nothing can change.
That's fine.
Can't change.
That's fine, but at least we'd have some kind of direction. That's, you know.
Well, we might have direction now, mightn't we? We might have, though. We can guess it, but
we're not. It's not about guessing. It's a track. There's a track record, and there's no track record there.
My point is, I'm not disagreeing with the stuff you're saying, but what I'm saying is, my point is, this situation, we all knew we were in this situation. We knew we were in this situation 10 weeks ago. We knew what would happen. It's all about selling players. It's frustrating, and it's grim, and it's depressing. But that's where we are right now. It's absolutely infuriating at times.
I get that.
It's devastating.
But that's like saying, well, if we still had Unsworth in charge of the academy, we still wouldn't get any players this year. The club has got to be going in the right direction. I look at the Felber situation and I think, fine, yeah, he's in place, he's bringing new people in, and you can see change on the football side. So that's fine, I get all that. And that's not going to bear fruit for a while, but at least I can see that. The problem with the other side of it is that he's left the same people in charge who haven't got a clue.
But what if he's selling, and therefore there's no point in sacking him because this new.
But he wasn't selling, was he?
Yeah, but he might have been.
But he wasn't selling.
According to
he just wanted investment.
According to certain people, though, this has been going on for months.
Well, they better hurry up and get it sold then.
No, well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's like we knew the window was broken. It's like still sitting here moaning about it. We can't do nothing until we get paid.
It's still broken.
Yeah, but till we get paid, we can't do nothing about it.
But we haven't even put a piece of wood over it.
But for the player thing, we will have, won't we? That's what we're trying to do. That's what Tarkovsky's coming. That's why they mentioned the loan for Harry Winks. And I mean, not that I'd be touching that, but that's what they're going for. So it is what it is right now. You're not wrong, but by the same token, we knew the situation. I'd be dead if I didn't think this was the situation, and now it's becoming clear that it was. I'd be fuming. You're absolutely right, but knew it was the situation. So it's like I can stamp my feet all I want, but nothing's going to change.
But then maybe more people need to stamp their feet then.
Well, a lot of people, don't forget, were saying things like, "It's not my money. I'm not asked how much you pay Hammers," or "I'm not asked how much you pay. It's not my money." But the problem was, people at the football club are probably saying the same thing. Not my money, I don't care. Let's give him $100,000 a week. Let's get Everton Football Club don't justify paying people £210,000 a week. We're not in Europe and win anything. It's like great all running around having parties when Hammers are signing, but the reality was, our budget doesn't allow for that. Our budget doesn't really allow for £100,000 a week players because A, we don't make enough money. B, our supporters don't generate enough money. The football club commercially doesn't make enough money. When the team doesn't perform well enough to earn prize money. So when we're putting our tight tops on and bouncing around like friggin' Wayne Lineker, the reality is we don't have the money to do that. We weren't doing. There was nothing underneath. It was all built on. It was fair coating, no knickers. That's what it was. And until you put your friggin' big boy pants on and start going, actually, we need to do it this way because this is how you build something, nothing's going to change. We carried on strutting our stuff, touching our toes in front of prospective footballers, letting them see what we had. And they've given us a good Roger. Took all the money. And now we are where we are in the position because nothing paid off. We paid these players, who a lot of them weren't cutting it at their own clubs, a lot of money. Because we thought they'll get us into the top 5 or 6. We'll be in Europe. There's another 30 million on top of the kitty. Bang, 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 bang. And these players didn't. And we went the other way. And so where we are right now is...
But the people who were
still
there...
haven't got our knickers on.
The people who were there are still there. So it's pointless, isn't it?
So at the end of the day, you just got to accept what it is. So what we're doing is talking about a story which is the possibility that Spurs are going to sign bid for Richarlison and Anthony Gordon. They'll probably, if they bid, and Richarlison's out. I mean, from a personal level, Richarlison, that to me would be a strange move. But he'll back himself. It'd be a strange move because Spurs, the guarantee to be in that top. But then again, I suppose there's only probably City in Liverpool who you could say a guarantee to be in there anyway. I thought he'd hold out for a European move, but if no one's coming in from Europe, what can he do? I think he really wants Real Madrid, doesn't he, with Carlo, but they ain't paying 50-60 million for him, are they? So we have to take that money then and then reinvest it and hope that when that money comes in, we can then say, right, our players are still at these clubs who we want, and go and get them in. And then you try to get out more players throughout the window then, when the pressure's not on as much. You try to get your Allans out, your Andre Gomez's out, if you're bringing in replacements for them.
I don't know if we could afford to let out someone like Alan go. Don't know whether we
depends who you can get in.
Don't know if we can replace him.
It depends. It's last year of his contract and he's 32.
No, I know.
If you can get 10 million, 8 million for him, you do it. Otherwise, you get to next summer and you go, there's more money walked out the door. And this is where we are. We've just allowed, the last few years, we must have let £150 million walk out the door for nothing. With the likes of Tosin and Walcott, Balassi, Delph, you know, these kinds of people have all been on good wages and have all walked out the door for nothing. And others, there's a 10 others. So when you add that money up, we can't afford to be doing that. So I would take money for Alan. Yerry Mina's
I would take money for him, but you'd have to replace him.
Love Yerry Mina, but he ain't playing the required amount of games. So if someone offers 10 million, take it, reinvest it. We are where we are, mate. Holly says, hi guys, hope you're good. It's really starting to show out up shit creek we are financially. If we're flogging Gordon as well, hope this isn't... Well, it's only a rumour at the moment, Hol. So we'll see. Jack says, the lads, what do you think on Gordon to Spurs rumour? Surely we can't let him go. He's a future captain in my eyes. I can't see it, but you just, I mean, like Ped said before, it's football. You just never ever know anymore. With football, you can never turn around and go, this 100% won't happen. I would be amazed if Anthony Gordon left Everton for Tottenham this summer. I really would, but I couldn't say 100% he won't.
But like you just said there, though, if there was even a sniff, and like, you know, then you could, for someone like Gordon, then who knows? You could get other clubs come and get going.
Yeah. Is he available?
Is he? Oh, okay. So you might be right. You mightn't look at Spurs at all, but then someone else goes. Oh.
Depends what he wants. He might be looking at it going, what's all this about? He probably is. So I'll be looking at it going, what's this? I'm in Everton's first team. You know, that's what I want.
No, I know fully he is. It's just you're just modern football. You can't
trust anyone.
You can't trust anyone. You can't trust agents and yeah.
I mean, I've been told there's no hint of this at all at the moment. So
yeah, I mean, listen,
and that's from the club. That's come from Everton, but that doesn't. Everton aren't the buying club, so
no.
Spurs could turn around. Who knows? You know, could be a wild. I mean, this rumour did begin on a Tottenham podcast, didn't it? So
it was this guy from Sky, wasn't it? Who said yeah, from last week. Yeah, Lyle was it? Who said that they were looking at other ones, and again, it might be a negotiation tactic. It might be a case of we'll accept this, or we'll come in and try and get him as well, and we've got on good authority that he might want to leave and come and play for a team in the Champions League, and that's again, it's using what you've got, isn't it? In and looking what Everton have got and going, oh, can you really afford not to take the offer we're going to give you for this player or whatever? And again, when you've got the strength, you know, which Everton obviously don't have, it's very easy to try and bully. See with Liverpool, you know, see with Man City, bully clubs. He wants to play for us. So what are you going to? No. You want 10 minutes? No. He wants to come and we'll wear you down, and that's where we are, isn't it? You know, you've mentioned over the weekend the subs rule and stuff like that. It's all that stuff. We'll wear you down. Because he wants to come and play for us, and you're going to have to take our money. Take it now, and you get to rebuild.
Yeah.
Wait, and you'll get your money. What will you be able to spend it on? And
that's the thing. We're offering you it now.
Yeah.
Take this. Yeah, do you need a bit more money? These two players, they're the three we like. They also like Jordan Pickford, don't forget.
I don't think they're going to.
No, they're not going to come for Pickford now because Lloris signed a new deal, but they were also sniffing around Pickford. So clubs do like players, though, don't they? But, you know, Everton like Conor Gallagher and people, and Armando Broja, but doesn't mean they're going to go for them. Dean says, Christ, we can't be letting Richie and Gordon go. Any other team in our situation wouldn't do it. But say we did, our recruitment is terrible, so imagine replacing them. I get we need the money, but we need to stay in the league as well. Alfie Boy says, we are top 6 reject FC, and I don't trust us to replace Richarlison's goals when we sign players like Winks, the English Gomez. Relegation scrap again. Paul says, afternoon lads, could be a busy final few days in June. Whatever happens and whoever goes, I hope we get the right money in and we can reinvest it properly this time. Aaron says, afternoon guys, can't we have a live without silly comments? Gordon is going nowhere, crying face. Maya says, could be a very worrying season if the recruitment isn't right. Richie Hetherington says, the links with Gilmore, Winks and Zinchenko seem very Everton-like once again, targeting top teams, cast-offs rather than hungry young players, coupled with the fact that they're all small physique, but be coming into a team that needs beefing up physically. I don't fancy any of them. Fair points. It is mad, isn't it? I'd love to sit down with Kevin Thelwell and just say, like, why don't Everton go after big, physical, mobile footballers when that's what the Premier League is played with? Like, why? What's the thought process behind it? Love it. I'd absolutely love to see what the answer. And he might turn around and go, we do look at that, but one of them, isn't it? Dale says, Basil looks like looks like Brighton are in for Mo Camera from Salzburg. So are Leeds, mate. Them two are after him, yeah. Also, I'd go for, once cash is available, Cody Gakpo, PSV. I don't like Hotchu at Feyenoord. Not convinced by him. He's a nice footballer, I'm just not convinced he'd do it here. Cody Gakpo. It's another one. He's bounced around for a few years, isn't he? He's a good player. I'm just not, at the moment, I'm just not convinced with, although saying that, I do wave the flag for Sangari, don't I? But just sometimes players moving from Holland to here.
It is.
The evidence, Klassen and Van der Beek. You know, there's been lots more misses than hits, hasn't there? You know, Memphis Depay should have been a real hit here, and he wasn't. Bergwijn was excellent in Holland, and he's not really done it for Spurs. He's had fleeting moments. You know, remember Mateo Kesman all them years ago.
It's funny because I think there's players who've done very well in Holland who are not Dutch, who've come over here and done well. Yeah. But the Dutch ones who are actually Dutch tend to struggle a little bit.
Samaras, remember him? Georgie Samaras, City.
Celtic. And ended up in Celtic. Yeah.
Stake City got him, and he was amazing. And the other kid that Middlesbrough got, who had the striker who had, like, remember him scoring his last season, like 39 goals in 30 games.
Kesman.
And he come over here and he was terrible. Kesman was another one. Kesman, more goals than games played. Couldn't do it at Chelsea. So it is it's a weird one, Holland, because you look and go. So that's why for me it's more physical. Even Seb Haller's come here from Germany. Didn't really do it. He's gone to Ajax. And he's gone to Dortmund. But went to Ajax and done Boss. And looks like he's going to Dortmund. So it is a difficult one.
Van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy was brilliant. Stam, yeah.
Suarez. If you're looking for someone who wasn't.
But there's not loads. There's more misses than hits. That's the issue, isn't it? That is the issue. I'm trying to think of that. I can see the fella, the Middlesbrough striker, Alfonso Gomez. Yeah, it might have been him. Alfonso Gomez, yeah. Or no, Alfonso Alves.
Yeah.
Alfonso Alves it was. But we'll see. We will see. I mean, like I say, I want Sangari, but he's physically powerful. Did it in France, done it in Holland. So Everton won't touch him. But there's others. I named half a dozen the other day. Number 6 is who we could get. You know, people that...
Why?
You know, Fofana at Monaco.
Why?
Excellent player.
Why is our football club just
Weird look.
like completely out of sync with football? Why?
He'd be looking going, tell you what, could we talk Mark Noble into doing an extra year? He'd be alright. Big nobes.
Why though? Why is our football club completely out of sync with the rest of football?
With everything though, not just recruitment, is it? Steve Kelly says, alright lads, hope you both well. I'd be amazed if Gordon left. This smells of his agent trying to get him improved terms on his deal. Am I right in thinking he's on low wages at the moment? Yeah, and he is sniffing for a new deal, I believe. But it could be 2 big outs, mean our issues get solved in one window. And a year or 2 of pain, but in the long term, develop us to start the full reset. But that's that's Ped's talked about. That is like the real genuine reset is in 2 years, isn't it? At Bramley Moore, when even though we're not going from like making 10 million a game to 100 million a game. It does go up. It does improve. Everything, all the money goes up. The commercial aspects of it, all of that improves. So therefore, selling Everton is easier. It's an easier sell, which means money, more money. But we're still going to have to be run smartly. We just don't have the global reach of Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea. So we're still going to have to, and Arsenal for that matter, we're still going to have to be run smartly, but we will have more expendable income. It's the pain of getting there. And Steve's right, maybe 2 big sales would do it. But I just don't believe we can sell Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison in this window, and I'd throw Anthony Gordon into that. I really would right now. One of them, fair enough. And we might have to patch up by bumping another couple out if you can get money for them. But if Everton could get 60, 70 million, they could rebuild the side for next season. That could easily be in the top 10, easily. They're only 2 or 3 players short of doing that, but the right 2 or 3 players. It's getting people in.
Hang on, have you seen any evidence so far that we're looking at the kind of players that you could bring in for that kind of money?
Well, it depends what happens with Conor Gallagher. If Conor Gallagher's alone, right, for another season, I think we both agree he massively improves Everton. His energy, gets stuck in and scores goals from midfield. So for me, massively improves our midfield.
No, I think he improves it, but I think my point is that...
But then the money can be spent elsewhere. You're talking about
those kind of players that you can get in for 10, 12 million quid, and all we're getting linked with is Harry Winks for 20 million quid. Yeah. So,
but stress, Everton are not interested in £20 million Harry Winks. They want him on loan.
No, I know, but I appreciate that. But then the problem is that we're not being linked with the kind of players that you can, from what I've seen, that you can say you get 80 million. Well, you can't have all the 80 million.
No.
So if we look, you can only have so many. You can only have 2 loans.
Well, yeah, but from the Premier League.
So then
have loans from Europe.
So then, and then you're asking to make the squad better by trying to bring in players who are. I just don't think we're looking. It doesn't seem to me like we're looking.
But all right, let me just put it to you this way, because you might be absolutely right, and we might not. We might still be just going to one of the sons who plays FIFA, who's in the Premier League. Who do you reckon we go for? Because that's how it seems Everton's scouting network is. But for all we know, Everton have got these links in place, and they're keeping them close to the chest. And the minute the money's available, they're going after them. But you've got to have that little bit of hope, mate, for Kevin Thelwell's doing that.
It's not that I don't have the hope. It's the fact that these players will already be at other clubs. You've already mentioned Leeds and Brighton sniffing around.
But right now, there's still the other 5 of the 6 I've mentioned the other day still at their clubs.
Yeah.
So if it's for how long, you're absolutely right. But Everton might be able to do something on the 1st of July because they're freed up with a bit more money. They might be able to go after someone on that date, you know what I mean? Who knows? I'm just trying to look on the bright side, because if I think too much the other way, I'll just be so depressed all summer, because it's nothing changes. Steve Kelly says you can now understand why Arsenal didn't want Mashiri anywhere near the club. Steve Guy says what actually happens if we don't do a deal for Richie by the end of the month. Doesn't make the end of year accounts look great, but does anyone really think the EPL will come down on us if we sell him after an arbitrary date? My understanding is we committed to sell before we buy. Surely, as long as we show that we have the real intent, the Premier League will be satisfied. Depends what the deal was, doesn't it? And obviously, if Everton were to sell, maybe if Everton were to sell him on Thursday, then that goes into the accounts that end on Thursday night. That takes the heat right off us. So we've still got that money to spend, but it also, in that year, it absolves us of anything. And we have a little bit more freedom to do the kind of deals we want to do. Maybe. I'm not an accountant. I haven't got Everton's books under this table, and I'm
sure they'll know.
They'll know what they need to do.
I'm sure they'll know what they need to do.
So, Tom Clare says, total ineptitude. Love to know what business Moshiri was involved in, because it looks like he's a total buffoon. Jay Radcliffe says, I've had enough already, and we've not even kicked the ball yet. Shit show on and off the pitch. Tom says, tell you what, I'd love a job on Everton's scouting team. Being paid to watch repeats of match of the day must be bliss.
But the thing is, though, all that stuff could be happening. They could be, like Baz just said, they could be sitting there and they've got targets that they'd really like to get hold of. But until the money's put in their hands, there's very little, I think, they could do. And no one should get confused by what I'm saying about those people. By the way, Kevin Felwell and what he's trying to do. No one. Because that's not, I wouldn't have a pop at them at all. They're new to the club, and they might really, really want those kind of players, but the money's not there.
I don't think we'll know until the end of the summer.
That kind of stuff is going to take time, especially with roles not even filled yet, or people not even started the job. So, no one should get that kind of thing takes time. That kind of thing takes time, and I appreciate that. And it might just be a case of some quick targets just to get people bodies in early in the summer, and those other kind of ones might take a little bit longer. But
it's just frustrating.
To me, it's why we are where we are. That's the.
Oh, it's just frustrating because you sit here and you wanna get excited. You wanna just look and go, oh yeah, brilliant. We're doing this and we're doing that. Okay, this is gonna be boss this. But it's deady. It's really difficult to do it because you're sitting there going, oh my God, can we do this? And we can't at the moment until we sell someone. It shouldn't be like that. We got all kinds of football stuff, all kinds of stuff that needs to be looked at. And we don't seem to be able to do anything. And it's frustrating because in football, there's like you said, there's money sloshing around everywhere. Everyone's got it, and yet we just seem to still be going, can't really do that until this. It's, the frustrating thing is when we had the money, we didn't have the right people in or the right structure. Now we've got, we don't know if we've got the right people in, but we seem to have a structure in now. Who knows? I mean, we could. We're all, Ovkey Vio says here. I'm just hoping we've got our cards close to our chest after clearing out some big mouths in the background. The press are making up most of the names, let's face it. People, I mean, don't get me wrong, people, it only takes someone like, Fabrizio Romano to just, and he guesses most of his stuff and then just follows other journalists. But he could say anything, couldn't he? He could go, Everton are preparing to let Jordan Pickford move. That's what I've heard. And the next minute he's gone, Pickford's gone, that's it, he's done. When there he hasn't got a clue, so we'll have to just see what happens. But all you can do at the moment is go by what's happened before, can't you? Steve Ryan says, guys, can I ask, if we sell Richie by Friday and get 50 to 60 million and we have to use most of that money to satisfy FFP, does that mean we might only be able to use 10 million of it to reinvest? It'll be, I don't quite know how that works, Steve, but I think it's all balance sheet. It's not real money.
Yeah.
It's all balance sheet. So if Everton go, look, we got, in that year we spent that and we brought that amount of money back in, then maybe that makes it look healthy. And then they go, tomorrow, we're spending 60 million. Tomorrow.
By the way,
because that's in the next financial year.
That's not like, that's it, isn't it? This is the other thing that's got to be, you've got to look at it at like two things, right? So this is what you've brought in and this is what you're spending. At the moment, that's ours. That's what we're spending and that's what we're bringing in. So of course, if we sell Richarlison, It's not real money, like Baz just said. You suddenly go back up there. And as long as that gap's not too big, the next day it resets. And you can start the next one. And it could be that Everton go, yeah, we're going to spend 80 million on the first day, but on the last day, next summer, we bring in 80 million, and it balances itself out.
Everton could, Dom's got 3 years left, I believe, hasn't he, on his deal? Everton could go to Dom. We're keeping you this season,
but the problem is,
we're going to sell you next
The problem
season.
is, right, this is what other clubs,
starting there.
That's that. Because all this is sponsors and merchandise and all your...
And some players.
And all their stuff they do well. Player sales that off, Liverpool selling all their kids, or Man City selling, Jesus to Arsenal for the same price they're bringing in a centre midfielder. That's the way they do it. The problem is Everton can't do that because the people who run the club, in my opinion, are terrible. The sponsors are all rubbish. We've got a sponsor coming in on the shirt that no one really wants. In fact, there's 20,000 people have signed a petition, whether you agree with that or not. But by the way, that was enough to get rid of the Fisher-Price badge. So the club listened then.
They won't have a choice this time to listen.
No, but that's the difference. That's the difference when there's no money. When there's something that actually costs something, that's the difference. The USM money's gone out the window, so that's that. That's the difference now. The football club...
And the wage bill's too high.
The football club simply doesn't bring in cash. Other clubs bring in money. Ours doesn't. Or other football clubs don't bring in money, so live within their means because they work harder. They work harder at recruitment. They don't pay silly wages. They bring young talent in. The likes of your Crystal Palaces and people like that. They go scouring around London and the areas around London looking for all the best talent, going to the likes of QPR, going to the likes of Reading, bringing young players in from their local areas through their own into their own academy, making sure they've got the best possible academy so that when the players do come up, they make them into something. Ours don't. Our academy for the last few years has been absolutely rubbish. So kids have been jumping ship before they get to 17, before they sign that contract. They've been jumping ship. Terry Smalls, our youngest ever player, jumped ship the minute he could because he saw no pathway. Now that side of stuff has been corrected.
Muhammad Ali Cho.
Yeah, that side of stuff's been corrected, so fair enough. My problem is that this side of the stuff hasn't been corrected. The same people who can't get the sponsors, who can't get the money in, who couldn't market James Rodriguez, one of the most marketable men in the world, got 15 million followers on Instagram, another probably 15 on Twitter or whatever. They couldn't simply market him. They couldn't even do the job on day one. They couldn't even hand him the number 10 shirt and go, "You're James Rodriguez."
They marketed well on day one. They just should have given... No, but the things they done were brilliant, but they should have given them the number 10 shirt. Yeah, and then stop right there. They should have given them the number 10 shirt.
That's not... You give them...
just chuck it off.
You give them the number 10 shirt and you just go, "Sorry, mate, you won't be needing that soon anyway." And you go, "We're going to plaster you all around the world and we're going to get shirts everywhere and we're going to make sure that we go out to pre-season friendly. And when we go to Miami, we're just going to give everybody who's there, doesn't matter what team they support, we're going to give them a t-shirt that says James 10 on the back, and we're going to make everyone who's there an Evertonian, whether they're an Evertonian or not. We're going to make sure everyone's got a shirt that says James 10 on the back, Everton badge on the front, everybody, and that's how we're going to do it." Because we marketed that whole tour last summer on the fact that we had James Rodriguez. We went to Florida with a huge, Florida, obviously Miami and places that with a huge Hispanic population, and we marketed the whole tournament. Him on all the we said, didn't we? Not going to be sold before that tournament happened. There was no chance.
Just a pity.
And we couldn't even do that. We couldn't even do that with one of the most high-profile players in the world, and we couldn't even market him properly. And that's how appalling Everton are at doing that kind of thing. And the people who do that are still running the football club, and that's my problem. And until they go, I honestly don't feel like anything will change.
Okay. Jack Ladd says Nkunku from Leipzig could be a better replacement. It cost a few bob, but he is good. He is a good player. Football Matter says Everton should be signing players like Conrad, Lema, Sangari, Mukulele, Ekiti. But they're the ones, aren't they? They're the, That's the thing. They're the players we should be going after, and they might be the player who we're going after. We aren't finding out about it, but at the end of the day, when you're looking at news and all you're seeing is links with Billy Gilmore, links with Harry Winks, links with Jesse Lingard, there's no thought really. There doesn't seem to be like a evidence of that thought. Do you know what I mean? It just seems like
Page could scout them.
Yeah, Ned. I was going to say Ned. I think Page would probably know, and Kunku and people like that. Ned could probably scout them. We showed our mate James Alcott last week doing a video with like 6 players Everton could sign. Some good players on there as well. James a QPR fan, and he's not paid by Everton, yet he's coming up with players who Everton should be looking at. It's those kind of things. It's the frustrating thing for us is we do seem to keep making the same mistakes and then scratching our head as to why we're crap. Until that gets changed, I don't. And listen, Kevin Thelwell might be in the process of changing. Yeah. We've already said he might be, and we're just talking right now. But there still needs to be there's got to be a lot of changes at Everton and how we do stuff. And exactly how we do it now moving forward with everything, because it's becoming so frustrating that it doesn't take, you can't keep going. We've got this blooming great scouting network. It's a great scouting network here, and yet you keep just bringing out players out to like Panini Stickerbook and going, oh, he might be alright. It's a big world. Football world. The world's huge. There's a lot of footballers everywhere. Lads you don't need to get work permits for. Lads you do. That's football, the way you do it. Richarlison needed one. If you need a work permit, go to Watford and ask them to represent you. But this is what it's about. And yet, we still seem to be and it's links. And sometimes journalists just keep throwing name after name after name.
But I don't hear us being linked with any of these other kids.
But to be honest, mate, most journalists probably don't know them. That's why you just go for what's easy. But also, them journalists will be getting prompted by people like Harry Winks, and I'm not saying Harry Winks won't end up at Everton, because he may well do. But Harry Winks' agent might be going, oh, Everton like him, yeah, Everton like him, Everton like him. Trying to pull other teams in as well. So they're just going, oh yeah, Everton. And that happens with a few. But there's lots and lots of people out there that Everton could get with a little bit of thought and a little bit of imagination. And some of the number 6s that I was talking about last week are under 10 million quid and come in and improve us straight away.
Yeah.
And they're the ones we need to be going for. Do one more refresh on. Make sure you hit that like button if you're watching the stream. It really helps the channel. Thank you very much. Owen says Gordon's got to be 40 or 50 million pound based on players like Lewis Potter, who's 20 to 25. Tweeted Baz last night, I just want the club to think outside the box when going for players. That's it, isn't it? Because that shows that they've got the finger on every pulse, if they do, rather than it's just going, well, this is easy to do. And like we said, we are in the dark a little bit here, but we're just going by what's gone before, really. We're not trying to have a go at Kevin Thelwell or whatever, because we don't know how the summer will look, do we? But just right now, in the position Everton are in, it's so frustrating. Jay says, if Gordon goes, he goes. Never scores, never assists. I don't have any sentiments anymore. Just get the money and move on. Liam says, I'd honestly take Moura off Spurs. I know he's not young, but even when he was at PSG, I rated him. But in truth, I don't want Gordon or Richie going, but that's footy. Moussa Diaby, another one. Could have had him 2 years ago. Would be my first pick. Gary Ward says, on the bright side, the new stadium is really coming along. It is. Stadium's flying up. No, Jay, but I imagine it'll be soon, the new kit. Paz says Richarlison may not want to go to Spurs with the World Cup coming. He won't want to move somewhere where his playing time will be impacted, as being Brazil's number 9 is the most important thing for him. But he might look and go, I'll have played Champions League games by the time the World Cup comes.
Sorry, Ned's just been another
classic Ned, mightn't he? So, right, that is us. that is us done. Thanks for everyone who's joined. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button. It really helps us. Thank you very much. Just seeing if there's any more that stand out very quickly. Jack says have to sell a few, maybe 3 to bring in one top young player like Bellingham. I think he means like Bellingham, not Jude Bellingham. I don't think Jack believes Jude Bellingham would come here. I think he's just saying in a thingy.
Got more chance of signing Linda Bellingham.
And she might, but yeah, she'd be more mobile than our midfielders. John Shirley.
I don't think she would.
No, she wouldn't now, like, but you know. John Shirley says we've got a marquee signing, James Tarkowski, on a free from relegated Burnley. Tarkowski will do well, I think. But who would you go for, Sarr or Lewis Potter? That's the last one I'm finishing with. One's 21 and obviously unproven. The other one is 24 and has played in the Premier League.
Depends on the price.
Depends
on the price.
Probably be similar prices now, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll go for Dennis before I go for both of them, I think.
Yeah.
He's more the physique we're looking for.
A little bit more consistent, isn't it? Right. Thank you very much. Take it easy. We will see you later.
See you at 5,
If you're a
patrons.
patron, yeah, see you at 5. See you later.